Okay, so it's Sunday night. I like you so much that I'm missing the playoff game to make this video. And anytime there's a football on TV, Mr. Hazelton thinks that he's Tom Brady. And I'm afraid that since I left him downstairs on his own, he's going to fall over the couch with his antics. Anyways, today's video is about solving rational equations. So there are some steps for solving rational equations. First thing you want to do is you want to multiply each term by the lowest common denominator. Then you're going to simplify, and then you're going to factor or use the quadratic formula if you need to, solve and check for extraneous solutions. Okay, my first example, I have 1/2 plus 1 over n equals n minus 2 over n. And the lowest common denominator here is going to be 2n. Let's get the pencil back. Okay. So, the lowest common denominator is 2n. That means I'm going to multiply every single one of those terms by 2n. So 2n times 1/2 plus 2n times 1 over n equals n minus 2 over n times 2n. You can also think of this like 2n over 1 if that helps you, because what you're trying to do is get rid of all of the fractions. So I'm going to cancel out the 2's here, the n's here, and on this last term I can cancel out n's as well. That leaves me with 1 times n in the top here, plus 2 times 1 equals 2 times n minus 2. Everything else is canceled out, and that's why I find the lowest common denominator in order to do that. All right, I can distribute the 2, and I'm left with n plus 2 equals 2n minus 4. Now I'm going to simplify that by subtracting n from both sides and adding 4 to both sides. And that leaves me with n equals 6. Getting a little ahead of myself. All right, I have one for you to try. So stop the video, work this out, start it again, and we'll go over it. Okay, you should know that the lowest common denominator here is 2b. That means I'm going to multiply every single term by 2b. So 2b times 1 over b. Oh, that's an equals there. There's my little eraser. There we go. Back to the pencil. 2b times 1 over 2b plus 2b times 1/2. All right, that's going to allow me to get rid of all these denominators by canceling out. In that first term, I canceled out b's. In the second term, I'm going to cancel out 2b over 2b. And in my last term here, I'm going to cancel out the 2's. And that leaves me with 2 equals 1 plus b, which leaves me with b equal to 1. Next example, I have the lowest common denominator here is m squared. So that means I'm going to multiply every single term by m squared in order to clear the fraction. Okay, and that leaves me with canceling out those m squareds, leaves me a 2 here. I can only cancel out one m here, so that leaves me with 3m, right? M squared over m is just m. And in the last term, both my m squareds are gone. And then I can subtract 1 from both sides. And I'm left with 1 equals 3m, so m equals 1/3. You try the next one. I'll pause the video when you're ready to start, and then restart it again when you're ready to check your answer. Okay, my lowest common denominator is n squared. So if we multiply every single term by n squared, I get that 3 over n times n squared equals n plus 3 over n squared times n squared plus 1 over n squared times n squared. All right, that's going to cancel out one of those n's, and I'm left with 3n here. My n squareds are canceled out, and I have n plus 3 here, and my n squareds cancel out there as well, and I'm left with 3n equals n plus 4. If I subtract an n here, I'm left with 2n equals 4, so n equals 2. All right, last example. My lowest common denominator is x, so if I multiply everything times x, instead of rewriting all this out, I think since it's just x, I'm going to do this. All right, I have to distribute my x to both of those, and I get x squared minus 2x. My x's cancel out here and here, so I have x squared plus 2x minus 3 minus x minus 5. All right, I'm going to simplify everything that I can now that I've gotten rid of the fraction. Oops, I forgot an x there. So that'd be plus 2x minus 3 minus x plus 5, because I need to distribute this to both of those terms. And I've combined the negative 3 and the positive 5 to give me plus 2. All right, I can subtract x squared from both sides. And I can subtract 2x. Oh, you know what? This is just, well, I'll add an x too. How about that? Minus 2x plus x. And these are going to cancel out. And negative 2 and negative 2 is negative 4. Plus 1 is negative 3x equals 2, which means x equals negative 2 over 3. Last one for you to try. Pause the video and restart it when you're ready. Okay, our lowest common denominator here, oops, LCD, is n plus 5. So if I multiply everything by n plus 5, I get n squared minus 4, because my n plus 5 here cancels out, and it also cancels out here. It's not going to cancel out over here. So 4n plus 16 equals n minus 4 times n plus 5. Okay, so I'm going to combine my like terms, and I get n squared plus 4n plus 12 equals n squared plus n minus 20. I'm going to subtract n from both sides, and I'm going to subtract n squared. And I'm going to subtract 12 from both sides. And that leaves me with 3n equals negative 32, which means that n is equal to negative 32 over 3. All right, that's simple as that. Do your practice and get ready for the quiz next class.